Welcome back to my kitchen. Hello for the first time. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to make homemade marshmallows. I originally thought that making marshmallows would be really difficult, but I found it actually a very fun and rewarding process. I know that sounds weird, but every time I told someone I had made homemade marshmallows, they were very impressed. I think that if you made marshmallows for someone and got pretty wee bags or whatever, they'd make a fantastic gift. They're also very delicious, and also very little ingredients are needed to make an absolute ton of these marshmallows. So I'm going to show you how to make them. The one thing I would say is that you will absolutely, well, no, not absolutely, I suppose you probably could do it without it. Life would be a lot easier if you have a sugar thermometer and a stand mixer. The reason for that is you do have to mix the marshmallows for a really long time. Well, like 15 minutes in total, which is a long time for me. I couldn't be bothered standing with a hand mixer at full time, and I certainly don't have the guns to do it like by mixing hand, you know, like a bowl and a whisk. Preferably stand mixer, hand mixer, maybe by hand, unless you're like The Rock or something, then I wouldn't bother. Sugar thermometer, I don't have any advice on how to gauge your sugar liquid without a sugar thermometer, so I recommend getting one of those. Plus it's good to have anyway for like other things like caramels and toffees and fudgies and all manner of good things. So they're like a $5 off Amazon. I have this one. I think it's like the first one that came up on Amazon when I bought it like 5 years ago or whatever. It's pretty good, does the job. That being said, let's move forward and let's get to making marshmallows. Hello, we're back. We have a peony on because we're going to be working with ice and sugar. It's going to get messy. Don't want to get dirty. I don't want to hear any slander about my peony. My peony is cute. Deal with it, right? Okay, so we have our egg whites, 3 of, in this bowl. We're going to whisk it and I'm going to show you what you're looking for. This is what you're looking for. Right, so it's like stiff, but not the way you would with a meringue. It is still kind of like bobbly. You know, it's not as like shiny and stuff as is what you're looking for from meringue, but it can hold, you know. Okay, next what you're going to have to do is soak your gelatin. So you need 13 sheets of gelatin. I have got platinum grade leaf gelatin. Sounds fancy, I got it from Asda, so it can't be that fancy. Each packet has 8 leaves and you need 200 millilitres of water. You can use any gelatin, I suppose, just gelatin leaves. Give that a wee pokey dooney. Make sure your gelatin leaves are fully covered with water. Okay, to recap, we have our egg whites mixed, our gelatin is soaking, and now for the rest of the ingredients. So take a pot, I have 300 millilitres of water in this pot. Into this water you're going to put 700 grams of caster sugar. It's a lot of sugar, but we are making marshmallows. I don't actually think I've got 700 grams in this tub here. Oh. Hey, oh. Hey, there we go. Next we're going to put in our liquid glucose. Again, I found this in Asda, actually right next to the gelatin. You'll get it in most supermarkets or you'll get it on Amazon. Sounds fancier than what it actually is. I think Americans call this corn syrup, but not high fructose corn syrup. I think that's something else. Anyway, we want this and we want a tablespoon and a half. So now we have a nice watery, sugary, glucosey syrup on the go. We're going to put this on the heat, gas, electric cooker, whatever, and we're going to put it on at like a kind of medium heat until all the sugar is fully dissolved, and then we're going to use our trusty thermometer and we're looking to get to 130 degrees Celsius, which on here is like what, 200 and, oh Christ, what would that be, 260 2 degrees Fahrenheit if you want to use Fahrenheit, but it's got both, just use Celsius. So yeah, 130. Right in between soft crack and firm ball. Hello, what's happening? Here is my sugar, and here is my sugar thermometer. And I've been a wee bit careless, it's gone past 130, but here we are. We're all human, we make mistakes. Anyway, so 130 is what you're aiming for. Have your sugar liquid here. Now when you are in the middle of boiling it, you'll notice it's really cloudy. It will then go like really clear like that. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I'm trying my best with angles here, but it is quite clear. And now we're going to put in our gelatin. So be careful, this does splash. You're putting the gelatin and the water, so everything in this jug straight into your sugar mixture, right? And then be careful as you're stirring this, because as you can see, it does explode a wee bit. But basically stir this now until all the gelatin has dissolved, and then put this in a heat-proof jug. Then put your whisk back on to get your egg whites moving, not too fast because you don't want this sugar to obviously like splash up in your face, but certainly fast enough that it's going to mix. I need you to whisk the marshmallow mix for 10 minutes continuously. During that 10 minutes, that's when you would add any flavourings or essences that you want, like almond, mint, strawberry, vanilla, whatever you want. I used a tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. You can just use vanilla essence, it's up to you. This is also when you would add food colouring if you wanted to make different coloured marshmallows. Now, while this is mixing, you do have to grease and also coat any dish that you want to use, because marshmallows will absolutely stick to everything. So I'm going to show you how you do that, but it'll be to the noise of the whisk. So just follow my guide. I have no other way to do that other than how messy that was, but it's kind of fun. Super glossy marshmallow mix, we're just going to pour this on top. Like, it's so satisfying. Oh yeah. So it's been 2 hours, and what we're going to do now is try and cut our marshmallows. So I've got a baking sheet here with some baking paper on it. Here is the marshmallow mix that we have, and we're going to take some of our icing sugar and cornstarch mix, and we're going to put a little bit, or a big bit, on this parchment paper. Right, like so, and then just try and spread it around a wee bit if we can. Right, anyway, right. And then we're going to take our marshmallow and hope and pray that it will come out. But it's not looking likely. That's fine. So what we can do instead is put some on top here. So in practice I've done that and it's worked, but that was obviously when I've put more cornstarch and stuff round about the sides. It's not stuck as much. Right, so using the pile of cornstarch in the middle, smooth it round. It's so satisfying to feel, that I won't lie. And then try and pry it off the sides, just gently with your fingertips. And while you're prying, try and shove some of that cornstarch that you've got on top down the sides, and you'll see that it starts to come away. Another option you have is using this cornstarch ice and sugar mix, is you can make like little moulds if you were so inclined to do so, and that way you could just pour the marshmallow in the moulds and then yeah. But I just prefer doing it this way because it's actually so much easier. So now that it's came away from the sides, I should be able to, there we go. And then we'll move this out the way. We'll put some more cornstarch on top. So now that we've flipped the marshmallow out of the glass that it was in, like the glass tin, it's really satisfying to touch and hold. It's so soft and like bouncy and stuff. Ooh. But now we get to cut it. So using as much cornstarch and as much sugar as you want and a big knife, I'm just going to cut lines in this and then put it in a bowl. There's my bowl. Now it will stick to your knife, obviously. I just work in sections so that I can continue to use the cornstarch on the tray. Okay, so for example, I've now cut a strand. I'm just going to roll it in the mixture on the tray already, and now I can touch that and move it around and it's not sticky. And then cut a square as big as I want it to be, roll it around, and then we have a marshmallow and it goes in the bowl. And just keep doing that until you have finished cutting them all. Another option is whatever you've got left in your bowl, just plonk it in there. So you could cut, push, cut, push, cut, push, and then mix it around. Take them out, even just jiggle them around a wee bit to get the excess off, or put it in your sieve and do that. Now, sure, they look rustic, they don't look like perfect or whatever, but that just adds to the charm. But I'll be back in like 5 minutes when all this is done. Bye bye. Hello again. So here we are. Here's all of our marshmallows. They look really good. I think so, anyway. They taste really nice, and they're like super squishy. Boop, boop, boop. But they're like squishy but resilient, so they're not like just mush, you know. You're not going to squish your hand through it or whatever, but they're good. And I think they make really nice gifts, so I'm going to show you an example of like how they could be presented as like a really nice gift. Also so satisfying, put your hands in. Boop. So, wee ribbon. So now that our wee ribbons are tied on, we can cuddle that business. Look at that. Isn't that so cute? Like, nothing says thanks very much for like taking my bins out than like a wee bag of marshmallows. Do you know what I mean? I think that's really sweet. I think that's a really nice idea. If you're the kind of person like I am that finds it very relaxing making wee gift bags and tying them up with ribbons and all that kind of stuff, then this is totally your jam. This is all the marshmallows I made with 3/4 of that mix. So there's usually a lot more than this because obviously I didn't use all of the mix. The rest of the mix I used for something else that I didn't show you, but it's irrelevant. Yeah, so you're talking maybe a little bit more than this is what you would make. That's a ton of marshmallows, like an absolute ton, for very little ingredients. So it's a lot of fun. It's something a little bit different and something that I thought would be really hard to do, but it turned out it really wasn't hard to do. As long as you've got a whisk and a thermometer, you're good to go. So thank you for coming to watch me make marshmallows. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you make them. If you do make them, please show me. I want to see your marshmallows. You can like tweet them at me and stuff, that's totally fine, or like X them at me, I guess. I don't know. If you're still here, please consider liking and subscribing or sharing or commenting. It helps me in that weird algorithm thing that everyone talks about. If you don't, that's totally fine. Thanks anyway, and I'll see you next time. Okay, love you, goodbye. Shimmy, 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 shimmy.